So we're here with homework 18, problems 1 and 2 we will do together. And so the first thing to recognize is that we are trying to add and subtract fractions here. And so to add and subtract fractions, we do have to have common denominators. And in all of today's problems, we will have a common denominator, which is great. The next lesson will not have common denominators, and so we will have some additional work to do there. And so we can get right to this one. What I need to notice is that this is a subtraction, and I much prefer to do addition, so I'm going to distribute that negative sign over to the 4. And so we will have 8 over x plus 5 plus a negative 4 over x plus 5. And so you could think about this as 8 minus 4 or 8 plus a negative 4. For me, it's going to be really helpful to turn all of these into an addition sentence by distributing that negative sign. You'll see why in later problems, but I would get in the habit of doing that now. And so with fractions, I only ever want to add. It's my personal preference, especially when we get with some stuff that's going to be more nasty, like the problems ahead. So 8 and negative 4 will make positive 4. Denominators are the same, and they will stay the same, x plus 5. Okay, I'll pause there for a moment and then move on to number 2. So number 2 is a great example of why we want to distribute those negative signs, like I did on number 1. And so we have a negative, this whole thing is negative, not just the 4a, but also we need to change the sign on that 2b. And the same thing here on this 5a and this 7b. So the negative sign is going to make that a negative 4a, a positive 2b over 5a. And then we're going to be adding. That's going to become a negative 5a and a negative 7b over 5a. And so distributing the negative signs is going to be super important, because what will happen if you don't do that is you'll have the wrong sign on those two terms and stuff will not be done correctly. So we have negative 4a and negative 5a. That's going to make negative 9a. Positive 2b and negative 7b is going to make negative 5b. And that's all over 5a. Now, I believe that is a response that Alex will accept. I do want to take just a moment and show you an alternative. And I don't know if Alex will want this or not, but one thing you could notice is that we have a 5 right here and a 5 right here. This is getting in the weeds a little bit. I'm actually going to delete this piece from my answer key, but just for the purpose of the video, if you wanted to split this fraction, you could say that we're going to take that and put it over the denominator, we're going to take that and put it over the denominator, and we will end up with an equivalent fraction, negative 9a over 5a plus negative 5b over 5a. And then what you could notice is that these 5's would cancel, and you would be left with something that looks like negative 9a plus b, and this is over 5a, and this is just over a. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you go this route with the alternative piece here, but it is something that you could do if you were trying to do something for some reason. But again, not something that I would do. I would go ahead and stop with what we've got there on the left. All right, I'll be back with another video for the upcoming problems.